because I'm a bad YouTuber. I didn't pull out the camera yesterday. I'm on day 2. I'm about 40 hours into a 72-hour fast. And I'm going to document the journey and how I'm feeling during the 72-hour fast. I tried this challenge a while back, probably a few months ago. I did one day and I wasn't injured and I didn't have all the free time, and it's very difficult to work a job and do everything else and not eat for 3 days and just drink water or plain black coffee. So now that I have this ample free time, I figured I would do the fast successfully and then share it with you guys. And you can believe me or not, I know I did it. It's all that matters. So yeah, right now I'm not hungry at all. The first day was miserable, but currently 40 hours in and it's not too bad. I'm not really hungry. I'm not thinking about food. A little update, it's been 42-ish hours. It's only been about 2 hours since my last clip. And I'm getting pretty irritated. I've been on the phone. I've had to do some phone calls because of a motorcycle accident with some garbage with that. So I've been on the phone with this person and that person, and oh, we can't get the information on this, so you have to call this person and talk to this person and do that. And it's just 5 phone calls, which for what should take 1 minute, you know. So I'm just basically doing their job for them. But anyways, yeah, the irritability is setting in for sure. Not hungry, just irritable as hell. So get back to you guys in my next update. It is 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm 65 hours fasted. At 11 o'clock tonight, I'll hit 72 hours. And it's pretty miserable. I'm gonna have some coffee right now, some plain black coffee, and then struggle out the last, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever it is. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna continue or if I'm gonna keep going longer or if I'm gonna stop it at 72 hours. I haven't decided yet. We'll find out. All right. The fast is complete. I finished last night at 11 o'clock and got a little carried away. I broke my fast with a piece of fried onion that was in butter, which was the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. And then I had a pizza, like a whole like box pizza. But then I ate too much and I ended up throwing up because my stomach capacity is not the same. And after throwing up, I realized that I like being hungry. It's more enjoyable than being overfull. So yeah, 72 hours of not eating, then overeating taught me that being hungry feels better than being overly full. Because if you're hungry, then you kind of just, unless you're like passing out and dying or whatever, but for the most part, being hungry feels, I mean, like I can go a little longer and then I can go a little longer and I can go a little longer. But being overly full, like it hurts to move, it hurts to do anything. So I'd much choose being a little hungry over being overly stuffed, at least currently, based on my current situation. I've noticed that every single time, like when you're fasting for a long time, you're just thinking, when will this end? When will this end? I just want this to end. And then when you finally get to the point where you can end it, your ego kind of gets in the way and you're like, I probably could go a little longer. And like you committed to the 72 hours, you completed it, but you're just thinking to yourself, I could definitely do another day. I could do another day. And then if you don't, you've got to redo that whole cycle over again where you start over from one day. And I mean, I don't recommend doing it back to back to back to back. I mean, because like I maybe in the last 4 days have had a total of about 1,000 calories. And obviously a 6'1" guy, 180 pounds, only eating that, who's, I mean, I'm not active right now, but who's usually always active, is not sustainable. And I'll say it's a lot easier for me to accomplish this because I'm currently out of work due to an injury. So I'm just home all day. You know, I don't have to do anything. I'm not working. I'm not, you know, so apart from making YouTube videos and whatnot, I'm not doing anything that's productive, that requires my brain or my body. So it's a little easier to not eat when you're not really moving as much. That was my experience with it. And then I'll do a whole breakdown in a little bit. See you then. All right, so the first 18 hours for me personally is a breeze. My sleep schedule and everything, I don't really eat for the first 18 hours every day, and it's pretty much a joke. I don't really notice it. and I don't really get hungry until later on in the day. So based on my healing from an injury schedule, I kind of sleep a lot. And so when I'm not sleeping, I'm either working on these YouTube videos or learning new editing skills, or, I mean, to be honest, sometimes I watch some TV or whatever and relax, but, or hang out with my friends. Anyways, first 18 hours for me personally is a breeze. Don't really notice it. It's easy. I'd say after 18 hours, I start feeling my first little bit of hunger, and it's uncomfortable, but it's not that big of a deal. Now, when you hit the 22 to 24-hour mark, when you're going to hit your first full day, psychologically, because you know it's a full day, it starts to get to you, and you start thinking like, oh man, it's been a whole day. So, and then it's hard to go to sleep. It's really, really difficult to go to sleep that first night. And then if you complete that, when you wake up the next day, you kind of feel nauseous in a way that cancels out hunger. You don't really feel hungry. You just feel very, very empty. Kind of like your stomach is just, both sides of your stomach are just touching together, and you're just like kind of nauseous, but you're not going to throw up because there's nothing to throw up, and you're not hungry, but like you have the memory of hunger. And then after the second day is pretty brutal, and it goes through like phases. And I noticed, for me personally, this is when time becomes very noticeable. You start to really notice time. Like 1 minute feels like 3 minutes, so, and because you have this arbitrary number set in your mind that you're going to do this amount of time, obviously it's not beneficial to have 1 minute feel like 3 minutes, 1 hour feeling like 3 hours. So time starts to slow down. Your perception of time starts slowing down because you know that you're getting closer to that 72 hours. And so therefore you want to eat, and then you psychologically will start to gravitate towards food shows on YouTube or things about food. And you won't, at first you'll just be envious because you'll want to eat them. But then eventually, slowly through day 2, I noticed personally that it starts to become more about entertainment and less about being hungry. Your hunger just starts to slowly dissipate, and then it's pretty miserable at the end of day 2 trying to go to sleep. For me personally, it was a pretty shocking experience. Like, you just can't, like, I was up till 5 a.m. just laying in bed just trying to fall asleep, and I eventually fell asleep. And when you fall asleep, you don't really you're if you when I fell asleep, I stayed asleep and I didn't really have any issues. And then the third day, I was pretty busy, so I didn't really have to worry about. I mean, like, you are still hungry, you still wake up feeling a little nauseous, but then you stop really caring about food. It just doesn't really interest you anymore, and you're more so just going because you know that you get like you. I kind of came to the realization that food's always going to be there, and it doesn't really matter. And no matter what, if I'm craving it, I can get it at any time, and I'm choosing to do this 72-hour fast, and therefore, uh, it's more of a battle of will rather than, um, like, it's to push yourself, see how far you can go, and that's kind of what it was for me. So then, as the third day progressed, I'd say it got really easy right up till the first hour before. The first hour before, so it was 10 o'clock for me, and because 11 o'clock I could break my fast, I broke it at 11:01. Um, so you, for whatever reason, time just, like, it just is so slow that last hour. And I was contemplating if I was going to go longer or not. I felt like I could go longer, and I ended up deciding not to. And I'm kind of kicking myself for it because I kind of enjoyed being hungry more than I enjoyed being super full. So black coffee kind of helped, like plain black coffee, no sugar, nothing. That kind of helped once in a while, but you can only drink that so many times before oh, bathroom. Now, the first day or two, I mean, your normal bathroom movement, but then after that, you're just pissing out of your ass. I mean, it's just that, sorry to be blunt, but that's just what it was for me. You were just pissing out of your ass, and it was disgusting. And like, you don't trust to fart. So you just always run to the bathroom. Like, you're just peeing a lot normally, and then liquid coming out of you the other way too. So that was my digestion kind of experience with that, with just drinking. I was just drinking plain black coffee and then water, and I put a little bit of salt in the water, but I put too much salt, so it was kind of powerful. But that's all I was drinking. So that was my experience. I hope you guys enjoyed. I do not recommend if I'm gonna do it again, but I don't know, talk to your doctor or whatever. Do what you want to do. I guess I don't really care. Have a good one, guys. See ya.